Hey. So, Bryony,
Hi.
you have been with us for how long now?
Since the end of October, I think.
Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? And
end of
you're with us for quite a while, aren't you? Now, as
Yeah,
well?
yeah. I am definitely
Signed her life away.
Signed my life away.
Signed her life away and aiming towards a photo shoot in October.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting. So I guess like first question for you is what made you choose to come with GS coaching?
I think I had got myself into a very big rut, and I think I had quite a lot of what's the word? I had quite a lot of like mental health issues and stuff like that, and I had got myself quite down, and I was getting myself into a really good place, and because I had got myself quite down, I didn't really care, if that makes sense, about what I was eating or what I was doing. So I was just getting myself from A to B all the time, and then doing that. And then I was talking to my stepsister, and she was going through what she was doing with you, and I was just like, that sounds really good. So I messaged her.
Yeah, because she'd made quite a lot of progress before, hadn't
yeah, I
she?
think she'd lost about 2 stone or something. So I was with my stepmom, and she was telling me about it, and I was like, that sounds really good. And then I was just like, oh, that sounds really good. So yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like when I initially had a call with you, I didn't know that you knew Laura,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, so how have you found out about us? And you were like, oh, Laura's smashing it.
Yeah.
So I thought hopefully I'd smash it as well. And I guess like, what was it that kind of got you to the point of where you thought, do you know what, like I really need to do something about this now?
I think I was just feeling really like I needed a change. I needed something to focus on, because I think I was just doing work, home, work, home, work, home. And then one Saturday, before I'd even contacted you, I think my sister rang me and she was like, come to the gym with me. And I was like, no. She was like, you're coming to the gym with me. This was about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I think she got me at a very easy persuading moment, and I went, and I was like, actually this is really good. So I was going with my sister a little bit, so I wasn't a massive gym virgin before, but and then it just kind of went from there really, and I really enjoy it. And I never thought I would, and I told you so from quite a few people. It's a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for, a bit of a addiction. I think.
Absolutely. I think like from in terms of like yourself, like a lot of people that we speak to and a lot of people on the team, just a lot of people in general, I guess nowadays, do struggle with mental health.
Yeah.
And how, from your experience, how has eating in a better way and also training in a better way, and I guess in general just looking after yourself better, how has that had an impact on your mental health?
I feel the most level I've ever felt, and it's gave me something to focus on. It's gave me food wise. I really enjoy what I'm doing and what I'm eating, and I've never. Everyone always says you can't eat that much. Like you can. Like you always say, you can eat loads.
That's got to be, I think, the first thing that anyone says when they join the team. As soon as I send them their nutrition through, it's like, oh my God, it's so much food. And it's like, just trust me.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
I looked at it and I was just like, I've got crumpets. I've not ate a crumpet in a long time, and I love crumpets.
The highlight of the week, that's the first thing you scroll through, like, well, hey.
Well, hey.
No, that's really good. And do you feel like now when you do struggle with like mental health, is it easier to navigate your way through that now?
Yeah, it gives. I think I like to have my plan as well, and I plan my week, and I'm like, I can't go to the gym that day, but I can go the other day, but and I can really focus on it. And even if I had such a rubbish day and I feel really tired, actually even just doing my steps is really nice. Because I'll get home from work and I'll just go out. I make sure I do it straight from work, because it's kind of like a break.
Yeah.
And I try and do half my steps at lunchtime as well. And before I was and this probably wasn't helping with my mental health, I was just working through my lunch all the time.
Yeah.
And now I managed to go out at lunch for an hour and just walk. And it's really nice.
And do you think that's helped with like work productivity as well? Yeah.
Because I'm not just constantly getting exhausted, and it's also helped me drop my caffeine levels as well.
Yeah, it makes a massive difference. You always hit that like 3 o'clock slump, don't you? It's like, it's just a normal kind of thing. And I guess like for you, how do you feel that since you've been with us, I know that you're not where you want to be yet, like we're not finished, but you have lost, is it 12 kilos now, 11
12
kilos?
kilos,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a life-changing amount of weight. And how do you feel differently in your clothes, in yourself? What difference has that made so far?
Like before, I was going up dress sizes before I started, and I'm getting back into the clothes that I wasn't in. I've gone out and bought some clothes that I hadn't fit, like the size I hadn't fit into for quite a while. And it just makes me feel a lot better. Like last year, I went on a very last minute holiday with my sister and my nephews, and I was not prepared. And I felt so, that was probably one of my turning points as well, because I
Yeah.
felt so, I had a really lovely time, but I felt so awful when I was there because I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel really comfortable in my skin either. So,
I think that's like, it's quite a common thing as well. When you and I have, I think everyone, we all have this holiday that we remember for the wrong reasons. Like I have a holiday that I remember stupid little things like sitting up on the edge of the sunbed
Yeah.
and being careful how I sat up because
Yeah.
I felt not comfortable in my body at all.
Yeah.
And then you end up with the memories of the holiday that were potentially really good just
Yeah.
being tarnished with, I remember that holiday because I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
And ultimately it's like you want to be able to go away
yeah.
and have
And it was
feel
something
confident.
really silly as well. I went on a banana boat with my sister and my nephews, and I couldn't pull myself back up. And that was mortifying. So I
Yeah.
had to go over to the boat and climb up the steps rather than just get back up
Just-
on it.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
now I'd be able to probably get up on it because I'd be able to pull myself up.
Yeah,
But-
because you're lighter and you're stronger
yeah.
as well. It makes a huge
and
difference.
that was mortifying.
Yeah, yeah.
So it
Tell
is
me the
something-
memories from your holiday. Wow, the
well,
banana
this
boat.
is what happened. And my nephews still joke about it all the time because they're at that teenage as well. So
Oh, God bless them. So, in regards to like normal day-to-day life, then, like you're feeling better in your clothes,
Yeah.
feeling more confident in your skin. Has it how has from a confidence aspect, has it affected your social life?
I feel like I'm more comfortable being out and about, if that makes sense. And it's funny, I didn't think I'd be able to go to the gym on my own. And now I go to the gym on my own most of the time. I'll go with my sister like once a week, sometimes at the weekend, but most of the time I'm there on my own. And I didn't think, I mean, granted, I've got my headphones in,
Yeah.
but people start saying hello to you and stuff like that. And I didn't think I'd do that. And that I was quite scared before. And yeah.
Do you find as well, because I always say to people, I think this is from like years of working in the gym, but do you find that actually having a program in front of you made it less daunting? I feel like a lot of the time people are really nervous to go into the gym because they're walking in there and they've got no idea.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of looking around and it's like, oh, that bit of equipment's free, so I'll try a bit of this and that. And then they feel silly because they don't know how to like adjust the equipment. And that's completely normal because it's daunting. If you don't know what you're doing, like it is a daunting place. But would you say that actually being able to go in, having a list in front of you of what to follow, did that really help you from a confidence point of view as well?
Because then I could plan out where I was going and where I was going around the gym floor and kind of what room. Like, don't get me wrong, I know exactly when to go and do my legs because I try and do most of it at the evening, like in an evening on a weekend.
Yeah.
Because it's quieter and it's calmer and you don't have to fight for the machines. But,
Yeah.
and then if I don't know how to use something, I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
And I think one time, what's the machine? When you do push
Assisted pull-ups.
Yeah, assisted pull-ups. I didn't know how to use that at the start because it's the opposite way around, isn't it?
Yeah,
With the
yeah,
weight.
it's the only bit of equipment in the gym just to confuse you.
Just to confuse me, and then it bounced back on me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to walk away for that and pretend that never happened."
Oh, bless you. No, it's brilliant. And I guess like for yourself, from a relationship with food point of view, what was your relationship with food like prior to joining us?
I was getting into a very bad cycle of, I probably would have had a pizza 4 or 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
Because it was easy and simple, and if I was mentally exhausted, I would just go and do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
but now it's given me something, so I'll batch cook quite a lot.
Yes,
And
you love your batch
I
cooking,
love my
don't
batch
you?
cook because I cook for myself.
Yeah,
Sometimes, like especially when I've got like a jar meal,
yeah, yeah.
I'll
It's
just
just easy
completely.
just to
It's
do the
just
whole
easy
lot.
to do the whole lot, and less wasteful. I hate wasting food. And it's just easy. So night before, I'll just get it out of the freezer, and it's fine the next day.
Yeah. And do you think now as well, like you, because obviously you do that, you're more organised with your meal prep and stuff, but would you ever kind of see yourself going back to just having pizza for dinner like 4 or 5 nights in a row?
No,
No.
because I feel like that was. I felt really sluggish as well after that.
Yeah.
Like once for a off-plan meal, sometimes a
Yeah.
week. Because don't get me wrong, I love pizza and I will have one as my off-plan meal.
Yeah.
But that too much, it's just too much because it doesn't help, and I feel like I can't focus sometimes as well, and I just want to just
And
what's
do
the
you
word?
think, like before, because before you were doing that 4 or 5 times a week, so do you think that because you weren't feeling great, but because that was the norm to you, feeling that way, it just becomes normal
Yeah,
feeling that way? Does that make sense?
yeah,
So, like now, like I have this conversation with Simon a lot as well, because obviously he's done a huge transformation. But like I notice it because I eat well most of the time. If we then have a pizza, don't get me wrong, I love pizza, but if you have a pizza, then the next day I'm like, I feel sluggish, I feel like my mouth's dry, I don't have a great night's sleep, and you do feel a bit shitty the next day. And then I think people feel like this every day,
yeah,
but they don't realise that it's the food that's making them
yeah,
feel shit. They just think that they
yeah.
feel shit. I speak to so many people where it's, I just feel really sluggish, I just feel really tired, I just feel really low, I've got no energy. But they just think that they feel like that for no
No
reason.
reason.
But actually then when you're eating a lot better and you feel better, is it really now evident to you that actually the way that I was feeling before was a
Was
correlation of
yeah,
what I was doing?
yeah. It was making me sluggish, and it was just like you said, I wasn't sleeping very well, and that much cheese sometimes just doesn't
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sleep, does it? But I can really look back and think, yeah, I'm not feeling great, and then because I'm eating a lot more regularly, having 6 meals throughout the day, it's given me that time into
Yeah, it works quite well, I think, having those meals regularly,
yeah,
because it stops with wanting to snack at things and
yeah,
things. I mean, it's something that you've not really struggled with throughout the whole process. You've just you've enjoyed the nutrition
yeah,
plan. There's not really been any kind of issues along the way for you at all. It's
yeah.
just kind of something that you've took to like a duck
Took
to
to,
water,
yeah,
really.
yeah. It's been really simple, and as soon as my first week, I wasn't even at home that weekend when I first started, but I
Yes, I
still did it.
remember. Where did you go? I can't remember where you went. I remember
My
you
dad's
went.
got caravan in Yorkshire, and I went
Yes.
there, and I was with my dad, and I still managed to lose. I think I lost a couple of kilos that first week, even though I only had about 4 days worth of it.
Yeah.
But I was quite conscious when I was there still about what I was eating.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed myself still. But I was just like, if I don't do it now, I won't do it. So I did it. Didn't start
And that is
100%.
something as well, because I remember, and this is something that I hear all the time when I'm doing consultations with people. They're so desperate to make a change, they're so desperately unhappy, but then the buts come out.
Yeah.
Then it's, but I've got family coming around this weekend, so I'll start after. But I'm going away for the weekend, so I'll start after. And it's like what you said, and it would be my honest advice to everybody. If you've got that in you where you think, I need to do something, you've just got to do it.
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying that to me on the call. You were like, literally like, fuck it, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Let's
Yeah.
just do it. We'll
Yeah.
make it work. And I think that's such an important thing to do, because there's always something that you could.
Yeah.
I mean, since you've been with us, you've had so many like social events
Yeah.
and stuff, haven't you? And I guess like a question for that would be, how do you feel since being with us? Has it had an impact on your social life in like a negative way at all?
No. Even when we go out for meals for all of our birthdays as a group of 5 of us, and we take it in turns choosing where we go. And my friends, unbeknown to me, had decided that they wanted to, instead of buying me a cake, bought me, like, one of my friends made chocolate covered strawberries
Yes,
for
I
me.
remember you showing me those. They're
Yeah.
so cute. I love that.
Because they knew how important it was to me. And I'm not a massive drinker anyway, and my friends know this, so I'm always the one that says, no, don't worry, I'll drive, it's fine, like there's no point. And it's even more prevalent that I don't actually want to drink anyway.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't bother me. So I'd rather just, to be honest, enjoy a meal off and have a soft drink.
Yeah, that's it. And then you can have pudding.
Yeah, exactly
Wine
how I
or
feel.
cheesecake. Cheesecake,
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
always cheesecake.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, like, do you feel that, because it's something that I'm really passionate about, is from my own past relationship with food, is making sure that, you know, anyone can get someone in shape. It's not difficult. But getting someone in shape with their relationship with food intact is a little bit different. And for me, it's so important that when someone comes to us, it isn't just this amazing transformation that we can post on social media, but the person's life's actually changed. And having those, what we call off-plan meals, is so important to me. Like, I feel everybody should be able to just go out for food without giving two shits about what's in it. And, you know, a lot of coaches don't coach that way. A lot of people would disagree and say, you know, well, you can have what you want as long as it fits within your calories. And that's not that it's incorrect information, that is correct. But sometimes you just want to go out and you want to just eat the food without thinking about, is it the best option? How much protein's it got in it? Can I fit it into my fitness pal? Because I've been that person. It just made me bloody miserable. So for you, being able to just go out, do you feel that that's had a positive effect on your social life and also with your relationship with food?
Yeah, because I think I've always completely, before I've done other plans, we've discussed this before, like I've done, I don't know the one I say out, Slim World. And you can eat so much with it, but then because you eat so much with it, it actually gives you a bad relationship with food. Because you don't really understand it, and then you just put the weight back on. And I was very scared of doing calorie counting before. Because, like you say, if you fit it within calories, then anything's within it. But then what happens for the rest of the day?
Yeah, that's it. It's like, well, you can fit in your calories. I'm like, cool, I want a Domino's pizza to myself.
So then you
I
starve
just need to
yourself
not
for
eat
the
for
day.
2 days so I can fit it in.
Yeah.
And that's what I used to do. I used to do that. I used to be like, well, okay, I want to go out at the weekend and I'm going to have starter, main and a dessert. So then for 3 days prior, I would just live on chicken and green beans just so that I could have that meal out. And you don't need, you know, so I could fit it in within my calories. And it's like, but then I would end up massively overeating on the off-plan meal because I was so hungry that then it counteracts everything. Whereas actually, if you take the stigma away from it and it's just a meal out, like it literally is, you're just going out for a meal, it's not the end of the world. And like the saying is, no one ever got fat from eating one meal, just like no one's going to lose weight from eating just one salad. And as long as it's within reason, it's fine.
Yeah, and like there's often been times where I've had 2 or 3 events one week, and I've just sent you the menu and been like, what's the best thing to eat? Because it's just simple, and then I feel like I'm actually still on plan because you've given me the okay of what to eat, and I feel like it's still okay, and I'm not going to binge around that, and I won't get something different.
And then you know that actually when you do go for your off-plan meal, because you've picked the more sensible choices throughout the week, it's like, well, I can just have this and I can just enjoy it now, rather than feeling guilty thinking, oh my God, I've already had 2 big meals, and it just it's the whole process. It should just be an enjoyable process. And I always think, like, life doesn't stop. So many people when they start a fat loss journey, it's like, right, that's it, I've got to cut everything out of my diet and I'm not going for any meals out, and I'm gonna, you know, it's so common. And it's not that they don't lose weight doing that, but maintaining it is a different kind of thing. And I mean, like, for yourself, I guess from like family friends scenario, has there been any kind of negativity from family and friends or anything like that, or have you found that people have been actually quite supportive?
I think people have been really supportive with me, and wanting me to help them. Like I feel like I'm helping my sister as well.
So it's gone from her helping you go to the gym to the other way around.
And don't get me wrong, she knows what she's doing at the gym and she'll just do it, but we kind of like try and follow each other, do it together and stuff like that. But I feel like all my friends are supportive of it and they understand that this is quite important to me right now. My work are quite supportive of me and they'll just let me go make food throughout the day. They're just quite chilled about it. And it's just
been quite a nice process for you.
Nice chilled process, and it's just so simple because everything's there. And there's quite a lot of options, and you don't feel like you've just got the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
And you're not just eating like chicken and rice all the time.
It's actually like nice food.
Nice food, yeah, really nice food.
I guess like an interesting question for you would be, not just from like the mental health aspect, but just like in general, with GS coaching, it's not just a case of like I coach you, obviously you're my client, but there's so much more to that. And obviously you've got Simon, there's the other people within the team and the community, the Facebook group. Like how, obviously the live events and things like that you've been to. Are you coming to the next one?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
But how do you find that having that community of like-minded people on the same or similar journey, have you found that that's really helped you as well?
Yeah, because you see everybody doing the same kind of thing and being in the same kind of boat as you, and you're like, yeah, I can do that. And like obviously we were talking about yesterday, it's one step in front of the other, especially on a treadmill.
George's motivational ebook on the way.
one step against the other, because like doing a treadmill walk, we talk about it all the time. We hate it. But it's like one step in front of the other, and just
do you know like what I also did as well? This is another one. I might actually put it in the group because I do think it's funny. And it can't just be me that does it when I'm doing my cardio. I count it down in different ways. So say if I'm doing 40 minutes, I'm like, right, okay, cool, George, we've got 4 lots of 10 minutes to get through here.
Yeah.
We can do this. And I'll like break it down in different ways. Then other days it's like, right, 2 lots of 20.
Yeah.
Here we go, we can do this. And then I'll even like look at songs on my phone and I'm like, right, if I get through 16 songs, that's going to get me through my cardio. And it's like, so like, it's funny.
Yeah, and I'll look at the clock and think you'll be done at 12:30.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and I'll work it all the way
get
down.
your way through it. That's the thing though. So obviously the one step in front of the other thing has come from the recent webinar that I did this week. And obviously I know that you really like watching the webinars back. Do you find things like that from a motivation and education standpoint, have they been really helpful for you?
Really helpful, because it just gives you that guide and those tips, and just like knowing personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Personal experiences on what everyone's doing and stuff like that. Because sometimes it's you and Simon chatting about it. Sometimes you've got a PowerPoint tool or anything like that, and it's just really helped to just hear it firsthand, if that makes sense, rather than going on and looking at it. Because sometimes you've got such a plethora of knowledge on the app. It's you just still have to go and do it. Whereas if you log on, you constantly listen to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. I went into the gym the other day and one of the clients was actually on the Stairmaster listening to my webinar. I looked over her shoulder, I was like, yeah, that's good. But I think things like that, it makes a big difference. And like what you were saying before with Slimming World. Now, my kind of stance on Slimming World is I don't hate it. It does work. All diets work. And that's something that really gets my back up when people say dieting doesn't work. Diets do work. All diets work if the person sticks to them. But my issue with things like that is the education part of it. So like you say, like people will lose weight, but they don't understand why they're losing weight. They don't know why it's working. And unless they're following that protocol, then they put the weight back on again. So I think like for us, doing the webinars, having the education series, making sure that clients throughout the process get their transformation, but also understand how they've lost it, so that when they finish with us, they're not going to fall back to square one again. I mean, do you feel since you've been with us that you are more educated on those kind of things since when you started?
Definitely. I don't think that I would have had the knowledge before to continue doing it. And I lost 3 stone on Slimming World and went all back on again, because they tell you in order to do it, you need to stick to the plan.
Yeah.
And you don't, and in order to stay the weight, you can have a few more treats or anything like that, but really you need to stick to the plan. And every week you can't really have an off-plan meal, you've got to be on plan. So that means you're on plan for like however long it takes to lose weight. And it's just not maintainable because you're just constantly craving something you can't have.
Yeah,
or they
it's
tell
almost
you
like it's one of those where, and I know that I do them on my Instagram and stuff, you know, like protein cheesecakes and things like that, because things like that are great to fit in with a plan. Sometimes you just want a cheesecake, like an actual bit of cheesecake. And having the protein low calorie cheesecake, all it actually does is just makes you want the actual cheesecake even more. So I think that's sometimes where it's a case of, you know, coming up with healthy swap ideas and stuff is all well and good for the majority of the time, but then you should actually just be able to go and have the pizza
Yeah.
rather than the low carb protein pizza. Do you know what I mean? It makes such a difference. And I guess then, like, leading into things to finish off with you is financial aspect. So it's often a massive barrier for people, which is totally understandable. And I find that a lot of people will quite happily spend money on things that they can physically see and they can touch. They can go into a shop and they can take their new pair of trainers home and they're happy with their new pair of trainers or whatever it is. But when it comes to actually investing in yourself, whether that be through coaching or through physio or whatever, people seem to have a real barrier with it because it's not an instant thing. But what would you say, like knowing what you know now, even though you're not exactly where you want to be, from the finance aspect, what would you kind of say to someone that is kind of like, well, that's a lot of money though, is it really worth it? For you, how has that been worth
It's
it?
an investment in your life. And that's, I mean, don't get me wrong, I put it straight on my credit card and I paid it off. But I felt comfortable enough that it was an investment, and I'd got myself so stuck. I'm like, what's the harm in trying it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I started, 4 weeks before Christmas, something like that last year,
Yeah, I think it
5
was,
weeks
wasn't it?
before Christmas.
Like Christmas present to myself.
Christmas present to myself. You gave me Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day off, and I still maintained over Christmas.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, and that just shows that how much of an investment and how if you enjoy doing something, enjoy eating not what you want, but in effect it is kind of what you want, because actually the meals on the plan aren't.
Yeah, I mean,
meals.
you all know anyway that like when people start with us, their nutrition plan is all written off what you ask to be put on it anyway. So it's not a case of here's your generic nutrition plan, you must eat this, because that's where nutrition plans get a bad rep. Is nutrition plans don't work. They create bad relationships with food. Yes, they do if you're giving someone something that they don't want to eat. Like if someone told me I'd got to eat tuna and sweet potato for 6 weeks to lose weight, like no, like it just wouldn't happen. But the fact that you can actually pick and swap at any point what you want, it's a structured plan that I've written, but essentially you've written as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that makes like a massive difference. But yeah, I think like it's exciting. Obviously, it'd be exciting to see where you go over the next few months. And photo shoot prep is underway for October. How do you feel about that?
Nerve-wracking, but I'm actually quite excited to get very much out of my comfort zone.
Do you find as well, just to finish, this is a really good point, with you being in the team and seeing other women go through that process from start to finish of feeling quite shit to then doing a photo shoot and being like, best thing ever, it's so good. Do you find the women within the team, not just me and Simon and the other people like from the coaching aspect, but the other members in the team, do you find that inspiring as well?
Yeah, because I've seen people go from, you see the transformation pictures and then them going to do a photo shoot. I'm like, you've done really well there. Like, I want to be like that. And it's just that extra motivational factor to.
Because I think a big thing as well is a lot of the time people looking at our social media, they see the before and the after, and that's inspiring, seeing the before and the after. But because you're in the group, you kind of get to see the journey a little bit more of what goes on, and it makes it feel more possible. Because often people can look at before and after pictures and it's like, oh, it's all right for them, but you know they don't see the tears, the tantrums, and the ups and downs and the emotional roller coaster that someone goes through that transformation. But then once you're inside the process, I think it's then very inspiring to actually be able to see the whole journey of somebody else and see what they're kind of putting and how they're feeling as well.
Yeah, so it's really, it just keeps you motivated and keeps, there's quite a lot of us in the same boat and we're all wanting to do the same thing, and we've all got the same support, and the support's really fantastic around us, and everyone supportive of each other. And just like the last team event, everyone just kind of like got on with it and just enjoyed chatting to everyone.
Oh, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was I loved that. I can't wait for the next one. So and we've got Pete's for the next one, so you know that's what's not to love. But no, honestly, thank you. I've been lovely speaking to you, and excited to get you ready for your photo shoot in October.
Exciting. Exciting stuff.